For 10 years, humans and monsters have been locked in a brutal war that never seems to end. On the battlefield, a blonde-haired swordsman moves with fearless determination. Suddenly, a monster steps forward, warning him to give up before it's too late. The swordsman doesn't flinch. The monster manages to land a hit, but the swordsman pushes through the pain and smashes the monster's glowing magic stone. Enraged, the beast lashes out wildly but is quickly overwhelmed and destroyed by the swordsman's relentless attack. Still, victory comes at a cost. The swordsman is battered, weak, and barely standing as the scene shifts to a new timeline. In this new world, Seo Dojin slips through the hero district unnoticed. He's unregistered, unwelcome, and immediately confronted by 4 heroes who tell him he has to pass their training to join their ranks. Dojin ignores their warnings and keeps moving, his focus sharp. Soon enough, a monster appears. Without a second thought, Dojin delivers a single clean punch that sends the beast crashing down. No fuss, no hesitation. Just raw power. Seo Dojin walks up to the monster he just dropped and stabs it again just to be sure. Then he snatches the magic stone right out of its body like it's routine. But the piece doesn't last. Suddenly more monsters jump out ready to swarm him. Dojin doesn't panic. He chucks the magic stone like a weapon and cracks one of them straight in the face. Meanwhile, those 4 heroes from earlier are standing around watching everything go down. One of them says if he dies, he asked for it. They expected him to fold or run, but Dojin doesn't hesitate. He slides in and lands a nasty dropkick that blows one of the monsters back like a rag doll. No fear, no wasted motion, just raw instinct. He checks his stash and casually mentions he's got 12 low-grade and 16 mid-grade magic stones, like he's just counting pocket change. That's when an agent shows up out of nowhere talking about protocol. Says Dojin's unregistered and needs to head to the gate control center. Dojin just stares at him and says, nah. The agents don't take that lightly and one of them tries to grab him. Dojin grips his wrist and stops him cold. Everyone freezes. Then they back up and pull out a grade 4 magic staff thinking they've got the upper hand. Dojin stays calm. He steps forward and pushes the agent back. Just a bit. His tone doesn't change as he says leave or you will get hurt, and with how cold he said it, you know he meant it. It's a full-blown scuffle between Dojin and the agents. They rush him thinking numbers will help, but he ducks low and springs up with a kick that sends one flying through the air. The second agent hesitates, just long enough for Dojin to vanish from his line of sight. Before he can react, Dojin reappears right behind him and slams a palm straight to his chest. The force knocks him backward like a rag doll. Without saying a word, he turns his back and walks off, calm, casual, like nothing happened. Now, just so we clear the gate is this government-controlled passage that leads into areas where monsters show up, but the rift that's a different beast entirely. It's that unknown zone beyond the gate, wild, unstable territory. And just like that, the scene shifts back to that other timeline. But next thing you know, he wakes up somewhere different and there standing over him is Seo Dojin. But it ain't just some chance encounter. Nah, this is the swordsman's final moment. He's broken, bleeding, done. And before anything happens, they share one last moment. The swordsman just starts venting heavy. He talks about how his own comrades betrayed him, how the country he fought for got wiped out, how everybody he cared about, his friends, his family, they're all gone. All of it for nothing. And then he looks Dojin in the eyes and asks him straight up, what do you want out of life? And Dojin pauses for a second and thinks. All he really wants is to make life better for his grandma and his little sister. That's it. Full body swap. Timeline jumps again and we fast forward to the new Dojin walking into a shop with a heavy bag of monster magic stones. The worker at the counter takes one look at the bag and makes a face like he just smelled something nasty, disgusted by all the blood on the stones, but that doesn't stop him from counting them. 12 low grade, 16 mid grade, and 5 upper or lower grade types. Then he starts talking numbers and offers 5.46 million won. Sounds decent, but Dojin can already feel the finesse coming. And he's right. The dude starts tacking on all these random charges. 30,000 for an appraisal, 10,000 for coffee, and over 300,000 just for some so-called expensive towel. In total, it's 350,000 in fees. And Dojin is just standing there like, nah, y'all bugging. He tells them flat out, he's not paying for none of that. So the employee tries to press him, calls in some C-class heroes for backup, thinking he can strong-arm him into paying. The heroes walk in with that energy like they're ready to extort something, and it all ends with one of them looking Dojin dead in the face and saying, you're fucked. And just when the vibe gets tense, the other one asks, yo, is it trouble? They try to act tough, but before they even finish their threats, he already hit all 3 with clean punches, back to back, dropping them cold on the spot. The buyer, who was acting cocky before, now trembling and begging, he slashes the commission down from 40% to 1% real quick, and Dojin just walks off like it was nothing. Then we cut to Dojin visiting his grandma and his little sister Yoonyoung. He shows up with a big stack of cash and drops it right in front of them. Grandma looks worried and asks where it came from, and Dojin lies, saying a rich friend paid him back, but she's clearly not buying it. Yoonyoung, on the other hand, is hyped. She's spinning in circles like, are we rich now? And Dojin smiles and tells her, yeah, we are, and she runs around the house excited. Then the scene fades into that flashback moment, the blonde-haired swordsman sitting with Dojin and asking him what he really wants out of life, and you can feel the weight of that question in the silence. Dojin pauses, then thinks to himself, He just wants Grandma and Yoon to be safe and happy. This is when he finally says it out loud. When I woke up, I had become SEO Dojin, and he hasn't even unlocked a tenth of his true power yet. But he's okay with that because now he's got something worth protecting. But peace don't last long, cause suddenly 2 loan sharks show up banging on Grandma's door. They're demanding 48 million won. Apparently the old Dojin borrowed 5 million for hospital bills, and that's when Dojin opens the door and punches the first thug right in the mouth, drops him instantly. The second one freezes in fear. Dojin slowly turns to him like he's next, and yeah, he is. He gets dropped too. Then Dojin tells them to let their boss know he's paying him a visit soon. Cut to the mall scene now, and it's a vibe. Dojin is with Yoon walking through the shops. She sees a big teddy bear, and before she even has to ask, he's like, yeah, go ahead, get it. He watches her light up, and you can tell he really means it. He reflects on how he's starting to feel more connected to this life and to her, and it's not just fake sympathy either, it's real. He wants to protect her with everything he's got. She asks for more stuff, and he just smiles and says, buy whatever you want. Now they're eating lunch, and everything's calm for a second. Then this random woman walks up with some dude and just stares at Dojin like dead serious. She straight up asks if he got someone pregnant, and Dojin's face says it all. He's pissed. Yoon's confused, like, huh. And the tension is heavy, because whoever this woman is, she definitely not some random. She's coming back later in the story for sure. Suddenly, the girl asks for Yoon's name. Then she throws in a fake smile and calls Dojin a mute. Calm at first. Dojin finally snaps back and calls her ugly. She backs off immediately, caught off guard and flustered. Then comes a flashback. The real Dojin, the original one, was born out of wedlock. He was poor, neglected, and by the time he turned 7, he was kicked out of his home. Now the new Dojin, the one with the sword god's soul, reflects on that life and quietly vows he won't let that cycle continue. In the present, the woman notices something different. Dojin's posture, his presence, even the way he speaks. It's nothing like the pushover she remembered. There's a calm strength behind his eyes now, something real and unfamiliar, and it rattles her. Later, Dojin came face to face with the woman's mother, who is the wife of his father. This was someone who had once hurt him deeply. She greeted him with a fake smile and casually suggested he should come home once in a while. Dojin didn't flinch. He looked her in the eye and told her to get lost. Her smile vanished and she walked away in anger. Inside a sleek black car, she went off in a rage. She screamed at the quiet man riding beside her and is very angry that Dojin was still alive. She muttered about how the gate should have finished him off. The daughter from earlier sitting in the back seat asked bluntly if she really tried to kill Dojin. The wife snapped back with the sharp, "Mind your business," and then started yelling again. She shouted how dare he act like that to her, and swore she'd get rid of him herself if she had to. Dojin steps into the heart of Yongdongpo, the capital. The loan shark headquarters is quiet from the outside, but inside tension builds fast. The moment he walks in, the boss spots him. The man doesn't hide his disgust. Says Dojin shouldn't show his face after what he did to his boys. Dojin stays cool and says calm, like he's the only one really taking a loss here. Acting hurt, the boss starts complaining about mental and physical damages. He puts on a whole show like he's suffering just from what Dojin did to his so-called family. But as he eyes Dojin closer, he starts to notice something's different, something dangerous, something stronger. Trying to save face, he flexes about his crew. Says he's got people under him who make D-class heroes look like bugs. Then he demands Dojin sit down. Dojin doesn't budge. Says he's not done talking yet. The boss doesn't like that. He snaps, gets up in Dojin's face and yells. That's when Dojin swings. One hit and the boss crashes backwards, laid out flat. Chaos erupts. Every thug in the room rushes him, but Dojin handles them one by one, fist flying like he's been waiting for this. Each punch lands heavy. As he fights, he shouts, "Y'all don't just run private loans, huh? I know you're also printing fake IDs." He's angry, desperate. Says he needs a hero ID to make money. Then he gives his demand. Make him an ID by tomorrow or else. Dead serious. No hesitation. After the dust settles, he drags one of them up and asks about Heeju. Did she order his death? The thug looks scared, but answers. Says Hong Heeju wanted to drown him in debt until he offed himself. Dojin's eyes go cold. Then he asks again, was that why he got locked up at the gate? But the thug shakes his head. Says nah, that wasn't her. She had nothing to do with that part. Dojin stares for a moment, then turns. Before he leaves, he drops one last question. Where's Kang Chol-woo? The man's got answers he needs, and Dojin's not waiting around. Dojin slides into the Night Island gate using that fake ID he got from the loan sharks. This place is meant for A-rank heroes only, and he knows it. The gate scanner even hits him with a warning. Says B-rank detected. Proceed with caution. He keeps it pushing like it's whatever. Soon as he steps in, black killing vipers come crawling out. These things got venom that causes paralysis just from touch. Dojin ain't scared though. He flexes the claws attached to the gloves on his hands and slices the first one clean. The stone inside his body pops out and Dojin grabs it like it's nothing. He ain't done yet. Another snake lunges, but Dojin already moving. He cuts that one up too. Sharp, fast, and smooth. He glances at the gloves and nods a bit. Not bad at all. Then more vipers pull up surrounding him. They think he's food. He goes off slicing left, right, straight through them all, not even breaking a sweat. Bodies hit the ground, but when he checks for more stones, there's nothing. He squints and says, if he's gotta kill hundreds of these just to find a few stones, this is gonna be a long damn day. He walks deeper into the gate, and that's when the real problem shows up. A huge viper slithers out with a shell hard as steel. This one's built different. The boss. Dojin throws a punch straight to its body, and yeah, he leaves a dent, but the thing doesn't even flinch. Next thing he knows, the snake tail slams him hard. He goes flying into the wall back first like a ragdoll. The viper rushes him and Dojin leaps into the air, throwing a heavy punch down, but even that don't work. Nothing. He lands and grits his teeth. Says to himself, I knew it. This one's not like the others. That shell's too damn thick. My fists aren't enough. That's when he sees it. A rusty sword just chilling on the ground. Something about it feels right. He picks it up and feels a weird energy from it. Not flashy, but solid. Like it's got potential depending on who swings it. He looks at the boss viper and smirks. Says, be honored. I'm gonna personally destroy you. And he does. One clean slash. The viper's done. Head hit the ground and body twitches before going limp. But Dojin glances at the sword and notices it cracked. The blade's broken in half. He looks at it like, damn, if I took even a second longer I might have died. He decides right there he's gonna fix it. He likes the weapon, says it may be busted now, but it's got promise. He walks out the gate a little irritated. This was just a B rank zone and it still gave him a hard time. Shows just how far his strength has fallen. He clenches his fist and thinks about how lucky he is that his old comrades didn't see him like this. Not yet. Not until he's fully back. At a sketchy little magic stone shop tucked between crumbling alleys and neon signs, a veteran hero stands at the counter trying to sell off his latest batch. He's calm, but clearly annoyed. The employee across from him looks like he got stomped out in a bar fight. Swollen face, black eye, barely able to make eye contact. The veteran asks what happened to your face. The employee shrugs and says some psycho came in here, beat me and our guards up too. Veteran lets out a short laugh. Tells him never get too comfy behind a desk. Just cause your guards got a license doesn't mean they're real heroes. There's a difference between someone watching a door and someone who risked their life out there for real. Employee's not trying to hear it and cuts him off with a, yeah, stop yapping. Veteran chuckles, says, well, if you ever need help handling psychos, you know who to call. Right. Then the door creaks open and in walks Dojin, cool as ever. The moment the employee sees him, he jumps back yelling, there he is, that's him. Finger aimed dead at Dojin like he's seen a ghost. Veteran turns eyes narrowing as he sizes him up. Balls his fist slowly and steps forward. You the one who made a mess here? He asks. The employee grinning now, thinking this about to be payback. This guy got a ton of hero connections, he whispers to himself. If Dojin touches him, he's done. Dojin doesn't flinch. Looks the veteran in the eyes and goes buzz off. Like it's nothing. The room goes dead silent. Even the veteran's caught off guard. You want revenge or something, bro? Dojin adds, not even blinking. Veteran hesitates, tension in his shoulders. Then he steps back, mumbles you little shit, and walks out muttering that it's not worth it. Hero on hero crime ain't something he's ready to die for today. Dojin tosses a bag of high-grade magic stones on the counter like it's nothing. Demands payment. The buyer nearly chokes. His voice goes, who is this guy? Eyes locked on the stones in disbelief. These stones aren't something you just see every day. The employee quickly offers 150 million won. Dojun ain't impressed, but he shrugs and says only 150 mil for a whole day of hunting? Whatever, bring me the money. The employee jumps in, quick says we still gotta deduct the commission. Dojun hits him with that cold stare. No words. Just a look that says, did you forget what happened last time? The employee gulps. Dojun speaks. Finally, commissions only 1%, make it 1.485 billion. Employee snaps and says, you son of a bitch, it's 40%, are you deaf? Then tries to backtrack, says any transaction over $1 billion needs management approval. Starts calling. Dojin snatches the phone straight out his hand, puts it to his ear and demands payment. Manager tries to smooth talk, tells him give the phone back. Dojin doesn't listen, throws the phone past him, smashes it into the wall behind. Says management said pay up. Now, the employee doesn't say a word, just grabs the money and hands it over. Dojin leaves the store walking calm like nothing just happened. Behind him, the employee's damn near in tears. His boss shows up moments later, confused, asking what just happened. Why did you hang up the phone? What the hell's going on? Employee's done. He's sweating, panicking, mutters, I quit. Says he's tired of crazy sellers and he's not doing this anymore. The boss doesn't even get time to argue. Pulls out his phone and calls someone. Cut to a scene of a woman with purple hair walking through the streets. Everyone's turning their heads, whispering, that's her. Oh my god, it's really her. Hyunju-yeon, S-class hero ranked number 4 in the entire country. The boss's niece. She reaches the store with that no-nonsense look, steps in, and the employee's jaw drops. He's like, holy shit, it's really Hyunju-yeon. I heard the boss was her uncle, but I never believed it. She doesn't even look at him. Just sits down, and just like that, Dojin's name is about to hit the radar of someone powerful. Dojin is meditating again, this time at home, sitting calmly in the corner of the room, while his little sister plays quietly with her teddy bears in the background. His eyes are closed and his thoughts are heavy. Even after hunting all day, he barely earned 100 million at this rate. He thinks there's no way he'll make it in time. He wants to clear S-rank gates, solo. He wants to reclaim the strength he had in his previous world, the power that once made even monsters tremble. But the problem is obvious. The man in this world is too thin. He could sit and gather every single day, and it'd still take over 3 years to reach what he needs. Then suddenly something shifts. Dojin pauses and then quietly tells his sister, "We have to go inside." Without hesitation, he picks her up, walks over and slams the door shut behind them. The grandmother instantly asks, "What's going on?" Dojin doesn't even hesitate. He just says it's a rift. His sister panics, thinking it's an earthquake, but Dojin already knows better. Outside, dark clouds swirl, with violent red lightning cutting across the sky. Something terrible is about to descend. He looks back one last time and warns them both, "Stay inside and don't open the door, no matter what happens." And with that, Dojin charges straight into the rift alone. Cut to the seal. Hero Association, where alarms start ringing. An agent confirms it. A new rift just opened in Mappo. The room goes quiet. A rift in a residential zone? That's bad. Really bad. They explain if a civilian enters a rift, no other person can follow until that civilian comes out, and if they die, monsters start pouring out for 10 days straight. It's a potential disaster. Who entered? They ask. Another agent replies, SEO Dojin. He was protecting his sister. The agents all look at each other, understanding what's at stake. Now the pressure's on. Cut again, this time to the private office of Dojin's father's wife, the woman who's been trying to get him erased since the beginning. She's furious, saying, "You should have killed him when you had the chance." She barks at her assistant manager Lee, warning him if Kang Chiobu doesn't finish the job, she'll make him pay back 10 times. What she spent. Another agent tries to calm her down, saying, "Relax, Dojin went into a rift. He's as good as dead." She smirks, satisfied, and orders them to keep eyes on the situation until they're absolutely sure. Meanwhile, inside the rift, Dojin finds himself standing in a place that shouldn't exist. A peaceful forest with glowing air and soft wind brushing past the trees. His eyes go wide. This is the forest of Paiswa. He remembers this place from his old world, the same forest from his past life. He takes a step forward, then another. The grass, the clouds, the scent in the air. It's all exactly as he remembered. He lets out a quiet chuckle of disbelief. "I knew it." He says. He walks deeper into the forest until he spots something massive in the distance. A tree glowing with an ancient blue light. The World Tree. It's still here. The very thing that once controlled the balance of mana across his entire world. Dojin drops to one knee in front of it. The downfall of his past life started when this tree was burned. Now, it's here again, untouched, radiant, full of mana. He stares at it and thinks, maybe, just maybe, I can reclaim the mana from that time. Maybe I can build everything back from scratch. He reaches out calmly, lets the aura from the tree wash over him, and for the first time since he arrived in this world, Dojin allows himself to smile. Dojin is sitting motionless inside a tree, meditating so deeply that days pass without him eating or drinking. His eyes finally snap open with a glare as he senses danger approaching. Monsters known as Volcana, the very same ones that once burned the World Tree, crawl out from the distance, snarling and baring their twisted fangs. Dojin rises to his feet, calm but alert, and mutters that it would have been nice to have a water element sword for this kind of fight. The Volcana charge, but Dojin doesn't flinch. He powers up instead, his body glowing with a brilliant blue aura. One eye turns pure white like a spirit. His hair lifts from his shoulders as wind swirls around him. When one of the monsters lunges, Dojin meets it head on. He slams his arm into its open mouth and floods it with blue and purple energy. The monster instantly decomposes and leaves behind a red magical stone on the ground. The others try their luck. Dojin cracks a grin and charges in. "If I take care of you guys too, I might be able to get the Eternal Ember right." He's hyped now, fighting effortlessly and tossing monsters like toys. Mana flares around him as more stones drop to the forest floor. He charges in, weaving through attacks and dropping them one by one with clean strikes. By the end, only silence and mana stones are left at his feet. Then glimmering in the dirt, he spots it. A gold coin radiating yellow energy. The Eternal Ember. Dojin picks it up, inspecting the mana pulsing through it. "To think I'd get this again." He smiles wide as he watches the ember glow. Golden light swirls in his hands. Not fire, but flames made of pure mana. He considers trying to absorb more energy from the World Tree, but knows his body can't handle it right now. Instead, he decides to absorb the ember directly. It's the only way he can push his mana to evolve. He concentrates and flames burst from his mouth as the fire mana begins to settle inside him. A flashback plays in his mind, goofy, but clear. Back then, there was no need to absorb embers. Now it takes 10 full minutes just to finish one. He raises and lowers his arms, testing his body and feeling the new energy pulse through him. A rift opens in the city, attracting a crowd of curious people and a group of agents who quickly gather around the site. Among the agents are two new faces. The first is Bang Seong-gu, a man with brown hair who questions why there is such a commotion over a single person. The other is Kim Hyun-woo, who has blue hair. Kim explains that someone entered the rift to save their little sister after hearing rumors that awakening inside rift zones was easy. But the agents confirm that the person who entered the rift is Dojin. Vivid purple and pink flames flicker from the opening. Bang Seong-gu Gu grows frustrated and vows that if he finds whoever entered that rift, he will beat them up. Confirms it is indeed CIO Dojin who entered the rift. His right-hand man, Kim Yeon-gu, discusses with him whether Dojin is awakened. The CEO calls Dojin a bastard and declares that if Dojin dies inside the rift, they will sell his family's organs. If he returns alive, they will put his family into debt, claiming they took care of them. Inside the rift, Dojin is seen absorbing hundreds of eternal embers, the source of his new power. Flames radiate from his body as he marvels at the strength he has gained. He notes that his fire-type mana is superior to the magic he wielded during his time as the sword god. Grateful, he thanks the world tree, touching its ancient bark before collecting magical stones and placing them into a bag made from leaves. With a determined look, he promises to protect the world tree if they ever meet again, then he leaves. Back in the real world, it is nighttime. The rift glows faintly beneath the moon. Dojin steps out face first, taking a cautious step as he surveys the area. He senses no immediate danger, but notices a stronger energy presence in one direction. He starts running toward it, feeling someone's presence. Suddenly, Dojin emits flames from his hands and hurls a fireball at a nearby building. The fireball hits with a loud crash, setting the building ablaze. Bang Seong-gu and Kim Hyun-woo are startled by the sudden fire and rush toward it along with pedestrians who gather to watch. Hidden in the shadows, Dojin smiles to himself, pleased with the fire's precision and power. He quietly recalls an old friend, the continent's strongest fire mage, thinking that his friend would be impressed by these flames. A flashback shows Dojin's past self with brown hair, known then as the Sword God. Kim Hyun-woo and Bang Seong-gu suddenly notice that the rift is acting strangely. They look up to see it beginning to disappear alarmed. They sprint toward the rift. Bang Seong-gu shouts in shock, "What's going on with the rift? It's disappearing." The final scene shows Dojin calmly walking up a set of stairs, watching the rift vanish into the dark night sky. Breaking news hits the airwaves. The rift in Mapo disappeared early this morning. The broadcast shows a skyscraper view, a news anchor standing above the city, saying it's been exactly 29 days since Mr. SEO entered the rift. People gossip that Mr. CO probably died shortly after entering. One says it's common sense to stay away from rifts. Another says it serves him right. But right beside them, walking silently through the city streets, is Dojin himself. Nobody notices him. He hears every word, expressionless, just listening as people casually talk about his death like it means nothing. He looks up at the sky. Then he starts heading toward a familiar place, the Lone Shark's headquarters. He walks the same halls he's walked before. Two thugs stand in a hallway, smoking and chatting. They say the bastard's dead. They laugh, assuming his grandmother and sister are finished too. One of them mentions how the boss always squeezes value out of everyone. The old lady, whatever. But the little girl, she might grow up decent. They're already planning how to use her. Disgusting. Then Dojin appears behind them. He says one word. Hey. The hallway goes silent. He asks where the boss is. Outside, a car pulls up. CEO Wong Chinsbob and his right-hand man Kim Yeon-gil get out. They're laughing, joking, completely unaware that Dojin is already inside. But inside, everything changes. Bodies fly across the room. Blood hits the floor. Dojin stands tall, surrounded by men he's already broken. He tells one of them to crawl over like a little dog. The man does it, sweating, trembling, barking. Woof, woof. He's not alone. Two others join in, all on their hands and knees barking. Dojin watches them like trash. He says people like them always act submissive in front of power, but the moment they see an opening, they stab you in the back. He looks at CEO Wong. You think this is the first time I've dealt with people like you? Wong starts begging. Please spare me. I'll be loyal like a dog. Dojin cuts him off. Shut up. And he uppercuts him so hard his face snaps back and slams into the floor. Then he turns to Kim Yeon-gil. Hey, glasses bastard. From now on, you're the boss. Stop working under scum like him. Kim is stunned. He tries to reason with Dojin. Says if he becomes boss, suddenly people will notice. Says their boss has too many connections. Kim begs. Just once. Spare him. Dojin isn't moved. Why are you being so dense? Dump him in a barrel. Toss him at sea. Crush him at a junkyard. Isn't that what y'all do best? Or maybe I throw him in gate 45. Let monsters eat him over the next few months. Kim keeps begging. Says he's worked like a dog his whole life just. Please spare my life. Dojin stares coldly. Says cutting off hands would clean things up nicely. Then mutters to himself that maybe he's gotten soft. He reaches out for a handshake. The man grabs it, then screams. His hand is on fire. Dojin doesn't flinch. He says, this is your last chance. The flames don't stop. The man thrashes in pain. Then it's gone. His hand is burned off completely. Dojin turns and walks toward the exit. The boss is still screaming behind him. Then Dojin stops and looks back. If a single scratch shows up on my family, I'll kill all of you. You'll have to guard them 24/7 for the rest of your life. He walks out without looking back.